So meanwhile, Ripiho goes back, gets to Otaki, and finds some people there who are interested in this new knowledge, and speaks to some of them, including two men, Katu and Te Whiwhi. And he says, look, I need some more resources. So he sends up to Rotorua and say, can you send that book down to me? And they do. They send the book down to him. So this little Gospel of Luke comes down to Otaki, and they learned how to read and write by looking at this Gospel of Luke. And they become really keen about this idea, and they say, we want to know more. And so they go to the Bay of Islands. They go to Paihia, where Ripiho had come from, and they say, we want a missionary to teach us something. And Henry Williams said, well, we haven't really got anyone available, I'm sorry. And there was a bit of a weakling of a young man, the youngest, the sickest, the most inexperienced of the people at the Paihia station was Octavius Hadfield. Everyone thought he was going to die the next week. He was such a sickly young man, he never managed to finish school. He went to university, didn't finish that either. He didn't get a degree, so he couldn't be ordained in England, but he went to CMS College, came out to New Zealand, and was the first priest ordained in New Zealand by William Broughton, the Bishop of Australia, but he was ordained in New Zealand and expected to die next week, really. And he said, well, look, I might as well die in Otaki as anywhere else, mightn't I? When Henry Williams said he shouldn't go, and so back he went. He actually lived for about another 30 years as a missionary in Otaki, and then another 25 years after that as Bishop of Wellington, and later Primate of Wellington, and he died in his 90s. So he had a good week or two. But he was often about to die in all that period. So this is our man Harawira. This is Hadfield. And he was the one that was the missionary at the beautiful church of Rangiatea in Otaki, which was burnt to the ashes and has now risen again from those ashes at Otaki. And he is the one who baptized these two men that had come to collect him. And the first one, Katu, became Tamihana Thompson. And the other one, Te Whiwhi, became Henry Martin, a missionary in India. Don't know where Tamihana comes from. Anyone knows? Let me know. I'm writing a book about it, so I want to know where did the name Thompson come from. That was his name. Tamihana's father was Te Raupraha. Any of you that like rugby will occasionally see Te Raupraha's haka performed by the All Blacks at the beginning of their games. But the son was a firm pacifist. The son was not like his father. And he became the missionary to the South Island. So he's in our book as the missionary to Waipanamu, the missionary to the South Island. He went to all of the places where his father had been a warrior and had killed others. And he said, my father came to kill. I was with him on those expeditions when we came and killed you. I've got a different story to tell you now. I think we should stop that sort of stuff, and we should learn to live together. We should live together with each other, and we should find some way of living together with these strange people, these Pakeha people that seem to be coming to our country. And so they came to St. John's College after going around the South Island. And they came to a college that Bishop Selwyn set up. Not the sort of St. John's College which we've got out there now, which is primarily a theological college. What Selwyn had in mind was a college, a collegiate school, a school which would be a native teachers' school, a native boys' school, an infant school, a theological college, an orphanage, and a hospital. It would be what South Americans call a base Christian community, really. Funny coming from a man who comes from Eton College, as Bishop Selwyn did, but that was his vision. It should not be in the town, too many Pakeha that get drunk there. It should not be in the village, too many heathens that believe in old ways there. It should be in a special place. So he set up St. John's College. It was a vision where Maori and Pakeha were equal. And that's what Tamihana loved. That's what Te Whiwhi, Henry Martin Te Whiwhi loved. That Maori and Pakeha were there together. Everyone worked together manually. Everyone studied together. And it was an exemplary haven. That was the term that Selwyn had for it. And Tamihana and Martini said, we want one of those too. We'll give you some land. And so, as well as St. John's College, there was supposed to be Trinity College. It didn't come to happen. Both visions failed. Trinity College in Porirua was never established. St. John's College closed in 1852 and never reopened as the collegiate school that Selwyn had in mind. It later reopened as a boys' school. It closed again, it reopened again, it closed again, and finally became a theological college. Finally got a bit of money because Auckland expanded, and the haven out there beyond the suburbs became a lot of land that could support the church in what's now that theological college. So, to conclude, how do we respond to our history? This is Aotearoa Sunday. What are our contemporary visions? I've told you some of the visions that people like Selwyn and Hadfield and Tamihana Tauropaha and Martini Tafifi had. Their visions were for freeing slaves, for making peace, not war, for sharing in community life equally, for honouring and embracing the best of all of the cultures of our land, for educating our young people to the highest possible standards. We live in a society of rather different times, but I think the need for visions about Aotearoa, for visions about how we live together, are just as important as they were in the 1830s and the 1840s, when Ngākuku was talking at the tangi for his lost daughter. We need dreamers for justice. We need respecters of our distinct cultures. We need to know a little bit more about other cultures than we do. And I hope that some of you are dreaming those dreams, seeing visions of the future of Aotearoa New Zealand, which will be our heritage for the future, for the people who come after us, as those stories that I've told you just a little of ought to be, I hope, an inspiration for us today. So, as I noticed you say in the after the reading of the first reading, hear what the Spirit might be saying to the church. Amen.